So these are the Sony's new flagship noise cancelling headphones. They're a successor to the Sony's WH-1000XM5 from 2020, and they just came out. When it comes to active noise cancelling headphones, the Sonys have always been amongst the top wireless noise cancelling headphones, and I've been using them for a while now to test the battery life, comfort, and also the overall quality. And then I'll answer your questions that you had for me about these headphones. So it's obvious that we have a new design, and I always say that a redesign is a bold move. It's risky because you're starting over, but in terms of the build quality of these headphones, they're obviously very premium, like seriously premium, but you know, you usually attribute quality with weight, and with these headphones, that's the wrong thing to do because they're super lightweight. They only weigh about 250 grams. And like I said in my unboxing video, almost everything feels soft on these headphones. There's just something about the plastic material that has this kind of soft touch feel to it. So in terms of the looks, I think Sony has nailed it. Although I think the headband is a bit too narrow, and I would have preferred to see it a bit wider. And I think that would have even distributed the weight better, because for many people, the top of the head is the first place that gets fatigued. One thing I'm not a big fan of is this telescopic adjustment. Now, I definitely think they look better the way they are now, but when it comes to quick adjustments, I want to hear clicks, so I know exactly where my level is, and the left and right side are also adjusted evenly. Alright, so when you buy a new pair of headphones, one of the most important things, if not the most important, is the comfort level. The Sonys are comfortable. Like I said, they're very lightweight. The ear cups are quite alright. However, there are people like me who have a very sensitive jaw. There are people who have larger heads and larger ears. As someone who has a very sensitive jaw and neck, I'm afraid I'm really disappointed at how quickly they get uncomfortable. You know, for the weight and the material they use, I feel like there is an unnecessary tightness that causes some pressure around my temples and jaw and neck. It's definitely not the worst, but you know, just because they're super lightweight doesn't mean they're comfortable for everyone. So will I be using them or not? You'll find out soon. The setup process for the headphones was definitely one of the longest ones, if not the longest one. Perhaps the coolest and maybe weirdest part was taking pictures of my ears for the app to analyze. It's just weird. Sony has also added more microphones to these headphones, so there are 8 microphones in total, which is just great to see. They've also improved their noise cancelling, and they've added a second processor dedicated to this feature, which means not only better noise cancellation for you wearing the headphones, but also better call quality and a clearer voice for other people hearing you during calls. So let's do a quick fun test together. You've already heard my voice, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little fan noise, and then we can hear together how much of it we can hear without me talking, and then also how it affects my voice quality when I do start talking. So let's do just that right now. Okay, so now I can start talking. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm really curious to know what you think of the voice quality. And guys, I gotta tell you, the noise cancelling on these headphones is just amazing. It's the next level of stuff. For example, when I sit next to my PC and wear these and turn on the ANC, I don't hear anything. And as for the white noise, which some of you asked about, zero. Absolutely nothing I can hear. So these are great. Even if you don't want to listen to anything and just want to use the noise cancelling feature. Although I must warn you, doing that might make you feel slightly nauseous unless you don't use it for a long time. When it comes to sound quality, I really like how Sony has balanced clarity with higher bass. Now, I still think if your ears are trained, you'll probably want to hear more. You're probably going to want to hear more detailed and clarity. But for the average person who's looking for loud enough music with a good bass, I think these are fantastic. And of course, you can use the equalizer in the app to adjust the values, or just use a preset like the bass boost, which is what I did. As always, you get the touch controls on these, meaning you can pause, go to the next or previous track, and some other things. One of those gestures is a swipe up or down to change the volume. And I know for a fact that Sony users have always had this problem of accidentally changing the current track, because sometimes it's hard to have a precise swipe up or down, which would instead work as a swipe right or left. This has definitely gotten better, but I think, it still exists, and in fact, it just happened to me today. So you should know that there are no physical volume controls on these. The only physical controls are the power and noise cancelling and ambient mode. Battery life on these is something that I think Sony just forgot about, because you're getting the same battery life as last gens. Just before the release, there were some rumors that the battery life had improved to 40 hours, but unfortunately it hasn't changed and it remains 30 hours. But I still think it's acceptable for what you're getting out of these headphones, especially now that there are two noise cancelling processors instead of one. Then there's the matter of pricing, and that is not acceptable, especially if you're not in the US. So in the US, these cost $400, which is what I also predicted, and I think it's a fair price. But if you live in Europe, you have to pay 500 euros, and I hate it when I see this price disparity between different markets. There's no acceptable reason why Europeans have to pay more. And if you live in Australia, first of all, g'day mate, you'd have to pay 550 Australian dollars, which is just insane. So what's my final verdict? Should you buy these headphones or not? First of all, if you just want the latest one and you can afford them, just go for it by all means. You can't go wrong buying them. But if you ask me, I'd say go with the 1000XM4. They're pretty much the same headphones with a design that has proven to be good and has been iterated upon for a few generations, and they come with the quality and features that pretty much match the new 1000XM5, and they're even cheaper. I would still stay away from the 1000XM3s if you can find them, because that's 2 generations ago, and if you live in colder places, they have some problems with touch controls. And also, again, if you have larger ears, I don't think the ear cups on these are gonna feel very comfy, and they probably feel more like on-ear headphones than over-ear. And again, if you have a sensitive jaw and neck, then they may not be the right choice, especially if your head's slightly larger. On the other hand, if you do have neck problems and you're looking for the best over-ear headphones that are lightweight, then you can't go wrong buying these. I personally wouldn't wear these on a daily basis because they're quite unbearable for me, despite being super lightweight. Instead, they're great for just short commutes and maybe during workouts, at least for me. However, you need to know that they do not have IPX rating, as some of you also wanted to know. So you need to be a little more careful. But that's about it. That's new Sony's 1000XM5 headphones after 2 years. Hope you liked the review. If you did, leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.